Well, hello everybody. Um, as you know, I'm feeling quite heartbroken this week and really run down and tired. So we've got this problem with a counterfeit microchip, and I'd heard of counterfeit microchips, but I never really looked into it. And apparently, the industry is endemic, and it got quite bad with COVID. There was this global microchip shortage, and it brought all kinds of sort of shady dealers out of the woodwork, and they found they could make quite a lot of money at it. And what they'll do is they'll find grey market, or they find cheap generic chips and they package them to look like the real deal. So one of the things that I've been trying to do is to use quality components, and some manufacturers are really renowned, people like Samsung or Panasonic, and there are these very cheap Chinese factories, and what they've been doing is put the Samsung logo and pass itself off. I prototyped the unit using chips by a company called Winbond, who are Winbond very well known, very recognised, and the chip I was using allows you to, just to explain a little bit about memory. If you can imagine a car park, so you've got a parking lot and you've got lots of parking slots. And the way that these memory chips work is if you want to park your car in a slot, you need to erase that slot. So it needs to be blank data before you can put the car in, before you can put the data in. And Bewilder was in slot 1 and Hotel of Secrets is in slot 2. And when I was trying it, I said, erase slot 1, no problem. We then write the data for Bewilder. Erase slot 2, no problem. We can write the Hotel of Secrets. With the cheap generic chip, when it erases the data, it actually erases 16 slots, all at the same time. But wait, it gets worse. I created this system with a table of contents, so that when you put a cartridge in, it writes a single piece of data and says, yes, I've seen Bewilder, yes, I've seen Hotel of Secrets. Just one byte, one little piece of data just marked, yep, we could tick that one off, we've seen it. When you write that data, it erases 16 slots. So every time a new cartridge went in, it erased the entire table of contents and just placed one and said, yep, I've seen Bewilder. It erased everything else, but I've seen Bewilder. And that's why when you were changing the cartridges, it wasn't keeping. And of course, I've prototyped with this and I've tested it 1,000 times, and then it comes to, we get the units in from the factory, we just put the cartridge in, we try it, yep, everything seems to be working, and we do it, it's out the door. It's only now when people are doing everything with it and they're swapping the cartridges out and trying everything, and suddenly it's not working, because every time you put a new cartridge, it's erasing 16 slots instead of one. Now going forward, all that I need to do is I need to tell the cartridge code will account for this, and it may become a little bit slower when you change the cartridge and it starts up for the first time, because it will be shuffling data around and putting the right data in the right place. I'm saying that I haven't written the code yet. Theoretically it works. It's going to work, it has to work, but so the games going forward in the future will still work. It's just, if you imagine the parking lot analogy, I'm going to park the cars 16 slots apart, and then that should do it. I've tested it with that and it seems to work. This is the way this chip is working. This counterfeit chip is very generic. Almost all chips work like that. My fault, or my inexperience for going with something that was right for the job, and I've been sold a forgery. So I'll turn the camera around and I'll show you under the microscope what we can see. Here's our logo up here. Look, Winbond. Have a look at that logo. And put this, if I get this ready for the microscope, an actual Winbond chip. So this was what I was prototyping on. And you should be able to see we've got the logo on there, W25Q16. So this is the one. Let's turn that round as well. You'll notice on the back how it is quite, I don't know if I can do it. I'm struggling to see. I was about to show it is. You might be able to see it's very clean in the printing. You see all the serial numbers and everything. And this is so the genuine win bonds. Their printing, their logo, everything looks good. But the one that's been put on the board, you can see that's not the actual logo. That's just, it's got the same number on and everything, but it's not. That's not an authentic WinBond chip. In fact, if I might be able to put them together. I can see, you won't be able to see there, but they're not actually the right size. They're not the same size. They definitely didn't come from the same factory. So there's the WinBond logo, and there's some cheap printing. So that's the problem. I designed it for this chip, and we've got that chip, and it means that it's just not saving properly. And I'm not sure how to fix it yet. So it's more a case of doing the right thing for you as customers and making sure that I exceed your expectations. If you saw my little video of me signing the letters, it's that thing. Make it personal, exceed expectations, follow up everything. Guest concern is my concern. I really believe these things, and this shouldn't be happening. And this is a black swan event. I mean, there's no amount of practice or preparation. The factory probably doesn't even know. There is, the more I've read about this, the whole supply chain is kind of infiltrated by these kind of rogue component sellers. So the factory was probably doing everything legitimately, but somewhere down the line, somebody swapped out the real ones for the fake ones. These are fake chips. Fake, how would I would never have imagined. I've now got a heck of a story to tell when I'm, how was your Kickstarter? Well, we hit with fake microchips. I honestly, like, head in my hands. So that's been my bit this week. Actually, the one part that was right was the big focus I was supposed to be on this week was to get the website and the e-commerce and create the adverts. But you need to have everything in the right order. I don't want to spend money advertising to take people to a website that isn't ready. I'm just wasting money. So, and now it's like get this part of the product ready. So any future units that go out, any games that go out, are not going to have these teething troubles. And then to look after the people who've already got it, and trying to find the right way around to do things. Anyway, that's the story this week. Your games do work, but like I mentioned in the last video, if you swap them out, you will lose your save data, and it will become a bit frustrating. It's part of the challenge now, so I do apologise for that. But we'll keep going. We'll get there eventually. Have a few tears along the way.